Okay, day 133, and this should be a fun one because it's a "Am I the A-hole" video. So we had our brother's celebration of life thing on his birthday yesterday, and which, can I just comment? Sorry if it's an unpopular opinion, but I get the celebration of life thing. I get what it's about. I just think it's a little ironic that the way they're normally held. You meet at like a lounge or a bowling alley or something. At least down here, it's the way it's done, and the food is always terrible. At least everything like that I've been to, it is. And depending on your family tradition, I guess, sometimes the stashes are split amongst the parents and the siblings get the little mini urns. I got mine, and the parents get the big one. But I just think it's kind of ironic if you break it down to what's actually going on. It's kind of like, well, thanks for coming to the bowling alley. I hope you enjoyed the crappy pizza. Here's a dead guy in a jar. But I think David actually would have appreciated that joke. Anyway, so the "Am I the A-hole" question. At this thing, bless their heart, people showed up, including other family members, like my Uncle Tim, for one. Now, I'm not saying that he's a bad guy by any means. I mean, he's on oxygen, etc., from smoking probably or whatever. But he comes up and he's like, "You remember me?" I said, "No." And he said, "I'm your Uncle Tim." So I was just like, "Okay, how's it going?" And now my girls, for those who have seen the videos with the girls in them, they're little heathens. So anywhere I go, my attention is 99% focused on making sure they don't run off. But I pretty much just said, "Oh, how you doing?" And that was pretty much it. Now, there's some other family members there. Pretty much the same thing. Just said, "Hey, how you doing?" And that was it. Now, some other people, they were like, "Oh, did you talk to Tim, Chris, and all these people?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I saw them." They're like, "You talked to him?" I'm like, "I just asked how they're doing." That's pretty much it. And they were expecting, I guess, for me to have like this long conversation, reunification thing with them or whatever. No. And it's not because of anything they did, it's because of what they didn't do. And the fact that my Uncle Tim lived, I don't know, 2 minutes from me when I was growing up. And I never saw him come over once. I never had him call to talk to me once. I was never invited to anything once. No desire for involvement of any kind. Now, it's, if it's the younger person, I think, in that situation, is the one that should be being reached out to. And I'm talking 20, 30 years ago. Never did. In any way. So it's like, you never put a shred of effort in any way, shape, or form to get to know me, I'm not really going to put in any effort to get to know you. You know? And if the only time you're coming up and talk to me is because you happen to see me at my brother's memorial service, basically, no. You know? Didn't even, and it's not like it's hard to do, because he talks to other people in the family, like my sister, I believe. You know, something like that, and you lose a brother, you would think, at the least, your uncle would be like, oh, well, you know, you want to call all the siblings, if nothing else, to give his condolences. So, a lot of people are saying I'm the a-hole for not really caring to engage much with these people. And I completely disagree with that. So that's the big thing for today. Hopefully Dietrich and some other people watch this. I'd really like to know your opinion. Am I the a-hole in this? Because I may be. I wouldn't be mad at anybody for saying I am. But that's just how I feel. I mean, you know, you were in your 30s at least, you know, when I was born, and lived 2 minutes from me for 20-something plus years. I didn't even know you existed. I'm not saying my dad shouldn't have, you know, made an effort to take us to see family. He absolutely should have. But, you know, I mean, it's not like you lived across the country. You were a 2-minute drive away. Same with my grandma on my dad's side. I really don't. You know, she's close to the end. I really don't feel a need to go try to converse with her, because she lived 5 minutes away. And up until I was in my mid to late 20s, I didn't even know she was there. And the funny story about her is that the first time that I remember ever going over to see her, my dad had went and fixed her stairs because they were falling apart. And then she came and put money in the mailbox, and my dad made me take it and give it back to her. Now, I didn't know this person. I mean, I know who they are. They were my grandmother, but I didn't know them. So I was just trying to leave it and go. But she came to the door while I was there at that time. And I told her, I said, well, I was supposed to give this back to you. And she just started a little rant about how people are so ungrateful. And then, like I said, this being the first time I remember in my entire memory, and I was in my late 20s, first time I remember ever speaking with her, she didn't sit down and invite me in and want to talk to me and ask me about my life. No, not even a little. No, the first question she asked me within 3 or 4 minutes of me being there was if I would go get some shears and trim all the bushes along the back of her property. That was her concern. Not that I haven't seen you in God's day and forever. It's, would you go trim all the bushes on the back of my property? So, what do you think? Am I the a-hole?